listeners. It's Alex here. Jen's here too.
Hi.
Hi, we're coming to you today. Not live, like I said a few weeks ago, because we are posting this 2 weeks after the fact.
Yes, we
are. But we are coming to you today to discuss some reflections we've had on the last 4 weeks here on the Practice Odyssey. The Practice Pod.
the practice pod. I think it's been more than 4 weeks. I think it's 8 weeks, isn't it?
Well, we've released... Oh, yeah, because we've done 4 podcasts, but it's been 8 weeks. Like, we've been very diligent.
We've been so diligent. This is 2 months' work.
And we're coming to you today to discuss what we've been doing, what we did the last 8 weeks, and on our Podyssey. Oh my God, Jen, I can't talk today.
This is so great. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The Podyssey. I think we should call it the Podyssey.
The Podyssey. Oh my God.
It's the new name for it, the Podyssey.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
I
okay.
hope we keep this in.
We can. Okay, we'll keep you. Who's editing this one? Oh, I'm editing this one. So, good, excellent. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we can keep this in. But I'm going to try and explain what we're doing a little better, just so you, the listeners, are not confused as to what we're doing. But yes, so today is our official reflection podcast. Then for our 5th episode, we're going to be dissecting and discussing everything we did for the past 4 podcasts, what we liked, what we didn't like, and what stayed on the stand. And that's our music stand. So
that's our music stand.
Yeah, and today I am coming to you once again from southern Germany in Ravensburg. Jen, where are you today?
I am in Phnom Penh. When you say southern Germany, it just sounds so sunny. I don't know why.
Actually, it is quite sunny today. It's quite nice.
That's
Yesterday
nice.
was drenched in rain, but today the sun's out and it's great. I'm probably going to go on a walk later to get some vitamin D. So
nice.
Yeah, sunny southern Germany.
Sunny southern Germany.
For any new listeners who aren't familiar with the format of our show, what we normally do is we review a book that's supposed to help us in our musicianship or our flute playing or both. And then we discuss it. And today we're just going to have a nice little reflection on how we're going 8 weeks on, because even though we do the books for 2 weeks, if it sticks, that's really the question. And we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And so feel free to write to us. And also you can totally tell us where you are in the world. And also maybe do you have some suggestions for our upcoming seasons? Jen and I have a lot of ideas, but what do y'all want to hear? So yeah,
indeed.
Send those to us. So, but yeah, on that note, maybe we can dive into book 1. What do you think, Jen?
Yes, the first one.
Our favorite.
TNG.
Taffanel and Gobert, complete flute method. So we started with the 17 grand exercises from Taffanel and Gobert with the preface from their complete flute method. So, Jen, what do you remember? Or what did you like? What did you dislike?
What do I remember? What I remember is I remember so many notes.
So many notes.
That's my memory, is being inundated with notes, overwhelmed in a tidal wave of scale passages. That's what I remember. What I liked practicing the piccolo with this one, weirdly. There were some really good exercises for the piccolo. That's probably what I liked the best. As you no doubt picked up, probably the thing I found the hardest about it was the sheer hefty weight, the volume, the broad, expansive volume of the exercises and how big they were. And actually, like, with reading more on them after the fact, as is very useful, people will talk about them in terms of studies. Like Susan Milan has them down as a study or an etude to put along with her scale books. So I kind of like the idea of treating them more like studies rather than a scale method. I don't know.
That's very true. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, so I think that it's been misnamed. Like those grand exercises, they've been misnamed. They're not exercises, they're study. And I'm going to stick to that.
Like a technical study. Yeah.
Like a technical study. I think like they look a lot like a technical study of scales, but they are a technical study. Just from the sheer amount of them, I think. Yeah.
No, there were so many. Oh.
And I have to confess, none of it stayed on the stand. I think I like the idea of maybe doing one over a week and cycling through them one a week as like a study, as my study of the week. I like the idea of doing that. I think that might be put on my stand in the future as a project. I think that's where that's where they will appear again as a on the stand.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my thought. That was my feelings
That's a great idea.
Yeah, Tough Null and Go Bear. Yeah, that's my overall. That's the legacy. There we go. That's the legacy of TNG.
The legacy.
The dynamic duo. Yeah, that is their legacy with me.
Oh my gosh.
How about you, Alex?
Oh yes. I'll start with what I disliked. I still remember discussing with my lovely gentleman neighbor.
Oh yeah.
About that. And he's quite nice. I've run into him a lot since then, and he's always very nice and cheery, which is nice. Except for so hopefully he doesn't think we're horrible neighbors, but yeah, that was just really annoying because it had never happened before. So that's still getting some some post-trauma stress from that.
It does. It sticks with you. Yeah. I get very tense whenever anybody knocks on my front door when I'm practicing.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry.
Brace for the inevitable impact. It's like, oh no.
Right. And I've been trying to find a place to practice around here where I could practice maybe in the mornings, because that's usually the best time for me work-wise to practice.
Yeah.
But there's just none. Like, I don't know where. I'm hoping maybe at the school I'm going to try and arrange something where maybe I can pay to practice there for a bit. But yeah, that's still annoying. But as for the method itself, I really I enjoyed the. What did I enjoy? I like that there was like a little bit of structure. However, looking at other methods that we've practiced since then, I don't think there was as much structure as some of those. But I have to agree with you. I definitely disliked just the sheer volume of everything. It was so much, and it just it was good. It was, I could see myself, like, if I have, like as a summer project or something, maybe once again, delving into it and working through it, but only if I'm also somewhere quite beautiful. Like I rent a holiday home on a little island in Ireland. And it's just me for miles, and I can just go nuts, and it doesn't matter what time of the day I practice. Yeah. That would be great. Or in a room with a lot of soundproofing, but then it's not as beautiful.
No, it's very honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want that much honesty.
So and unfortunately, like you, it did not stay on the stand. It's currently being used for when I teach online. I use it as a way to prop up my computer. So sorry, Daffodil Gobert. It's still on the desk. And,
it's on the desk.
Yeah, it's on the desk. It's just not on the stand. So
no, I mean, we appreciate it. It. But yeah, I have to say, probably saw it coming. Probably saw that coming. Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so book number 2.
The De La Sonorité by
Marcel Moyes. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I have to.
Classic.
It is a classic.
It is a classic.
And it was, compared to the first one, it was so nice and succinct And
very
well
big
explained. Yeah.
Yes. Good instructions.
Even reflecting on it back a few weeks. So it was so good. Yeah. So Jen, what did you keep, or what stuck around, and what did you completely ignore afterwards?
What did I completely ignore? I actually have kept all of De La Sonorite. I mean, it's definitely on the stand. It's a nice way to warm up. I'm enjoying the way you can use it to warm up with your articulation, the breathing. So I like particularly exercise number 2. I stole that idea from you where you slowly narrow down the breaths between the phrases.
Oh, yeah, with the metronome.
Yeah, so that's been really good to be working on, like, taking big, quiet breaths. So I start that off. So it's a nice way to start off the day as well. So I've really been enjoying that. And then I really like the articulation of number 3. And then number 4, it's brutal, but it's so good for me.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say, number 5 got completely dodged. It's ditched. It's gone. I practice some slow passages, like in with my pieces, like it. So that's cool. But no, I do not do that one anymore. No, that's gone.
Spoiler, that's gone. I don't either.
Yeah, so I've actually really enjoyed it. I mean, I've definitely shortened everything down, so I only do a tiny bit of I kind of just do the first exercise as a bit of a warm up. I do like maybe one of the patterns, like the whole tone scale, but I don't do both of them. You know, when some days I have 2 different scales a day. Yeah. So I just do that, and then also and then a high register one as well. So yeah, I've kept that. I've really liked it. Yeah. It's been very helpful for my playing, I think. Yeah.
I'm so glad
How
you hear
about
that.
you? Has it stayed on the stand?
It has. It has stayed on the stand. I really like doing the long tones now, which I hadn't ever done before. Yeah. So So I usually do those. Maybe not first off when I start practicing, but I definitely do that just to like get my intonation in check, because since like when we recorded that last, like it's so much easier for me to hear when I'm blowing too hard through my flute now, and when it's going out of tune, it's just easier to hear it, easier to recognize it.
That's great.
And I think it's a great feeling. Yeah. And also the articulation ones I find are really good for checking my releases of how in tune they are as well. So I've also been continuing with those, with doing like the 5 different steps, like first all tongued, then slurred up 1, and then slurred down, and then the last one, which is all slurred. So
all slurred,
yeah. I have to say, though, the last 2, I don't do that often. I think my brain capacity normally is so focused on those first 3 exercises and making sure everything's very accurate and very precise. And then by the time I get there, it's usually about like 30, 40 minutes in, and either I have to like start practicing on something else before time runs out, or something. So I usually X the last 2. So those haven't stayed on the stand, but I do, like you, I still practice reading slower pieces, but usually I make it something that I have to record for an audition, or I have to play in an audition. Yeah. So it's a little more applicable to what I'm currently doing. But I still transpose, because I like doing that. It's kind of fun. So, because then I can walk around my room and be like, oh no, that wasn't right. Let me try that again, like while I'm playing. So yeah. But yeah, so I think that one was a win for me. It stayed on the stand.
Hooray! De La Sonorite wins again. Amazing.
And I ordered the biography, and it should be shipping to my parents, who I will see in December, and then I will pick it up. So I mentioned that, I think, in the podcast, that I was going to start reading that, and because it just sounded like he had such an interesting life, and now I just really want to delve into it and learn more.
I know. All our questions will be answered. This is so
exactly. Follow-up episode. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then we're on to Smiling Mind.
Yeah, this was a change of gears, wasn't it?
Is it a dark horse when it comes up from behind and you weren't really expecting it to be as good as it was? That's called?
A long shot?
A long shot?
No,
kind of like
it's not
that.
a long shot. Is it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think a dark horse. Yeah, that's the one. It's like when it does something which you completely didn't expect. Surprising.
Yeah. So Smiling Mind, our dark horse for the season.
It was.
Yeah.
So this was this is an app which you can get in the store, the App Store. This is an app you can get.
Free app,
and
as I mentioned many times.
It's a free app. This is the thing you're most excited about. This is a free app, which basically it's from Australia. Whoop. And it has heaps and heaps of programs on it, which introduce you to the concept of mindfulness, because we noticed in a lot of our books they talk a lot about focus and nerves and just the whole concept of practicing and the mind, which is a big thing when you're practicing and also when you're performing. So hence why we thought let's do something on helping us concentrate and focus. So we did the Smiling Mind primarily because it was free, and number 2 because it has this really good sports program for helping focus on sports performance, which has a lot of similarities between that and music.
Yes, it does.
And we worked through the sports concentration focus mindfulness program for 2 weeks. And Alex, what did you like? What did you dislike? What stayed on the stand? Well, I guess that one doesn't stay on the stand, but anyway.
It stayed on the phone. We didn't delete the app.
It stayed away. Okay, it stayed on the phone.
Oh, yes. So this one is also, it stayed on the phone.
Cool.
What do I do with this one? So I still use it. Really liked it, as I mentioned multiple times in the episode. I've recently been doing some seeing a speech therapist for my voice, and I've been using the Smiling Mind to help supplement that with some of their breathing ones. Which one is that called again? Let me pull that up. They have one about breathing, and I've been using that as a way to guide my breath.
Cool.
Where is it? Not the sport
there
ones.
There are a lot of programs, different programs you can do.
There are so many. They're so
really
great.
Stuff for sleep, for anxiety, for concentrating. Yeah.
There's even ones that are done in native Aboriginal languages, which,
there you go.
I mean, obviously I wouldn't be able to understand, but I did listen to one, and it was very calming just to hear the cadence and how they spoke with the different inflections. It was pretty cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then actually my husband is also using it too. So usually before we go to bed, we'll listen to one together. And he initiated that all on his own. After listening to our podcast, he went and downloaded, and sometimes I'll see him with his headphones in, and he's also listening to Smiling Mind. So
getting all the mindfulness. Oh, Marco, you legend.
I know, he's the best. Oh my gosh. So but yeah, so it's been really good. So I would say, a lot of it stuck. What didn't stick? Probably, which one was it that we did? The one where
movement one.
Yes. The one where we have to walk around with the steps. Yep. I haven't done that one. I keep telling myself, I should just do it when I'm walking. But then usually I'm in a rush, or I'm carrying a ton of groceries from the grocery store. And then I give myself many excuses. But I'm still doing the other ones, which I will deem progress because I was not doing them before. So
yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. So how about you, Jen?
Good.
What has stuck? Or is it on the phone still?
It's still on the phone. I really enjoy the daily exercises ones. They're the where you use your senses to ground you in the present moment, and also the concentration one, which is where I've got to try and be able to count to 10 my breaths without losing concentration and thinking of something else.
How are you going?
I got to 4 the other day. That's my record. I've doubled. I'm so proud of myself.
You doubled, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You should have a party.
I should have a
meditation party.
I will have a meditation party with champagne, maybe. It'll be so great.
Excellent.
I know, it'll be so great. So I've been enjoying that. And the other one, which I'm going to try and do a bit more than I have been, because I realize it's probably one of those things you need to kind of build up an accumulation of experience with it, is the emotions one. Because particularly when I'm under pressure with performances, the whole emotions are the other thing which I really, they go crazy, don't they? They go crazy. So all of a sudden, you know, you get your greatest moments reel going through your mind. For me, they're my biggest bloopers. They're brilliant. Anyway, they decide to do an instant replay in my head before pretty much every performance. It's great. So this, I think, will be really handy in controlling that. So that'll be nice. But yes, I have to say I haven't done a huge amount of mindful walking. That has not been happening. And the movement one, I don't do that so much. The movement one is where they kind of get you in touch with your body. I think I do that more by doing the daily exercise where you're kind of getting in touch with your senses. And I don't know, on reflection, I think we've kind of been taught about mindful movement just our whole learning
musical career.
Yeah, musical career, because you have to, because we are like using such minute movements. You do actually have to think pretty hard about what your body's doing. I mean, it's been good.
Agree.
Yeah. It's been good in terms of like maybe recognizing where I'm holding tension. Yeah, so which is interesting because it migrates from place to place, week to week. I don't know, never stays still. One day it's like, you know, left side of my neck, then all of a sudden it's in my right shoulder, then, oh look, my forearm, and then anyway, it goes in. It likes going on a road trip. Yeah, so that's been good for that. Yeah. But Smiling Mind is definitely stayed on the phone. It's good. Very, very good. I've enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so good. But yeah. Well, I'm so glad it stuck with us.
Yeah, I know. And I use the sleep one a lot. I like listening to waves as I go to sleep. It's very calming. And he does have a very calming voice. I agree. I wonder who the narrator is. Yeah.
Yeah, he does such a great job. And he's just so unassuming. I just love it. You know?
Very casual.
And it's like, I think maybe that's some of the issues I have with some of the other ones is the meditations. I always kind of feel like I'm being reprimanded. And I'm like, look, I'm here. I'm really trying. I don't need to be reprimanded. I'm already doing that enough in my brain for myself. So please just like, you know, just be chill. I'm supposed to be in a chill state of mind.
And maybe because, it is designed for like young adults and teenagers and youth, so maybe that's why he's just they've gone for such a chill approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Which actually, when you think about mindfulness in general, you're just like, why don't you get just a super relaxed sounding person doing this?
Yeah, who, you know,
surely
he's like,
they don't need any more tension. I mean,
yeah. And he'll say a few times in a couple of the different ones I've listened to, you know, like, oh, so your mind probably has wandered. That happens. That's like, you know, we anticipate that happening. So like you're on track. So now we're just going to bring it back. And it's not like, okay, focus. Oh,
you failed.
Or how they, you know, like, make sure you're focusing on the breath. It's like, yes, I know I'm trying, but all of a sudden I remember that I have to buy groceries tomorrow, and I don't have a list, and I have to go to bed soon, and I'm listening to the sleep podcast. So,
and then all of a sudden they're saying, focus harder.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just brings up the heart rate, and so.
Yeah, opposite effect. Oh dear, Smiling Mind. That was a good couple of weeks. It
was. Those were some nice practice weeks.
Yeah, they were some nice practice weeks. Which brings us to the final
method.
The final method of season 1, which is Susan Milan's Scale Technique Book 2. Book 2.
Yeah. Number 2. Sextuplets and triplets.
Indeed. Who doesn't love some triplets? They're good.
Yeah.
So good. How did you find this one, Alex?
Yes. So what stuck? Well, actually, let me look at my stand. It's still there.
Hey!
Okay. So, yep. It hasn't been so long since we practiced this one, Yep, it's still on the stand, closed, of course, so I can appreciate some of the cover art.
Indeed, you did enjoy that.
I think what has stuck the most for me is the warm-ups. I really like doing her warm-ups because they start on a higher note, and for me, my tendency is to, like, especially first off, when I'm practicing in the mornings, is to overblow and make it really out of tune. And so that's really helped me bring attention to that in my playing. So I've really enjoyed doing her warm-ups.
Oh, nice.
As for the scales, I've still been doing them a little bit, but not as much. I've been kind of messing around with some other methods. Maybe we'll review later. But I know. But so I've been doing a few of those, but overall I think the one that stuck with me the most is the warm-ups. What hasn't stuck? There wasn't as much to this book as the other ones.
Yeah.
What hasn't stuck is maybe starting off by doing everything slurred initially. I found that really, like, it was really counterintuitive for me for my playing, because then it was like, especially when I got into the third register, because then I was so stressed about making sure it was like the fingerings were in place at the same time as the air.
Yeah.
Whereas I think for at least what works well for me is doing maybe focusing on the fingers and making sure it's happening and then adding in the air. So still doing it within the same 5-10 minute span, but starting with articulation, then moving into slurs, everything articulated, then everything slurred, and then breaking down different articulations after that.
Okay, cool.
But I think, how about you, Jen? So what's stuck?
It is on the stand. It is stuck. For me, I guess I haven't been doing the warm-ups because it's opposite. I haven't been doing the warm-ups because I think I've been doing Della Sonorite more. It's those kind of warm-ups, if that makes sense. However, I am using the scales kind of at the end of my warm-up scale technique session. So I'll go through and I'll do, I won't do it for so long, so I'll just do 2 articulation patterns. But what I'm doing is I'm not going through all the articulation patterns for a scale system. I'm basically doing all the scale systems with 2 articulation patterns, if that makes sense. So I'm doing them all legato, and then whatever the next one is, legato in 6 notes together, grouped. Yes, I'm doing the scales like that. And I think it's just because I'm using it as I'm really liking the legato over the top. But I mean, yes, there are a few scale patterns where it's really slowed down to get it super precise. But I'm enjoying that, and I'm liking all her different techniques of how to practice that, and so I've been enjoying that. So it's just like you say, it's a really efficient kind of get all your scales done, the basic scales all done, and it keeps your chromatics really good, and it keeps your high register all kind of chugging along,
sparkly.
Exactly. So I've been enjoying that. So it's kind of in this, pretty much as abridged as it can get is what I'm doing it in, which I'm enjoying. Yeah. But yes, that is where Susan Milan is at the moment. Yeah. So that's
good. And then that's our reflection podcast. I think.
That's we've reflected.
We've reflected
and decided that yes. How have you found the whole process, Alex?
Oh, the whole process. Process.
You said potato, I said potato.
Exactly. I've found it. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Focusing on it gives me my practice a little more direction than it has before. Where I would kind of pick and choose what I thought would be good, but then I would always have this kind of underlying feeling of, am I doing this right? But yeah, I think something that's really stuck from doing all of these methods is the idea of a rest day, which I had always been told, you have to practice every day. But these great people are saying, it's okay to have a rest day. That's normal. And if you do sports, I think even sport people have a rest day.
Yeah.
So people who are, doing sports competitively.
Yeah.
So that's really stuck, and I hadn't really been introduced to that concept before. It's always just been like, well, you have to practice every day, and of course, I didn't practice every day all the time because life happens, and then I would feel insanely guilty when I wouldn't practice, and then it would be twice as hard, or it felt twice as hard for me to restart the next day, because then I'd say, well, I missed one day, I've probably gotten a lot worse, and then like just the dark clouds start to settle around your mind.
And I mean, even when you have it's like this concept of a guilt-free day off, as you say, like
a guilt-free day off,
hangs over your head, and you're like, I should be practicing. Oh no, I haven't done my practice, and you don't actually get to rest properly. So having,
because the whole time you're stressed because you're not playing. So,
you're like, oh no.
So someone just saying, hey, it's okay, take a day off,
give them permission.
And it's like, which I know I can always give myself permission, but it was nice to hear it from some people who have made this a career successfully.
Yeah,
so
and in fact, they've
nice.
Changed the landscape of flute.
Exactly. Yeah,
they are the giants. Yeah.
How about you, Jen? So how do you feel since starting our project here, our practice Odyssey?
I think for me I've really enjoyed seeing people's philosophies and how they tackle technique in there. I think for me, I've been surprised at how much the mental aspect of it has come up. They all mention this is to build up your concentration. At some point, they all mention that. So this concept of being able to focus and keep that focus for a really long time is something which we also need to practice. It's not just about practicing our fingers and our movement and our air, but also our mind control. That sounds really kinky in the brain, but anyway. Our control of our mind, and Inception, eat harder. Oh, Hans Zimmer.
Actually, I think we have a sound effect. I'm going to pop that in.
That's fantastic. We'll do that. So that's been one of the big things. I think also a few of them I've kind of dabbled in them quite a bit, like Della Sonorite. I've dabbled in them. I've been given the exercises by my teachers, different ones, but I've never done the whole thing. And I like seeing all of it and how it created this big kind of cohesive practice. And then also like it kind of, and like how it focused on different aspects of tone. And then it's kind of giving me a big kind of, what's the word? Arsenal or weapons, like series of weapons, which I can pull
Arsenal
out.
is great.
Yeah. So, I've got my excerpt of Doom and I'm like, okay, you're not so scary because now I have all of this at my disposal. I know what exercises to use, which will make you so much easier.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
It's like I don't know, I might offend a lot of gamers out there because I don't game very much, but like I think like when you're playing a video game and you come across supplies and you like add them and it's like, or you like gain skills. I think that's something you do. It's like you've gained the ability to fly, and then all of a sudden you've got this new ability or this new technique that you can use or apply to everyday flute situations.
Awesome.
And I feel, these books have helped us level up. We've got them in our arsenal.
Yes.
I totally love that.
Yeah, I know. Why not?
Oh my gosh.
I can't really help you with the gaming analogy. I just used to play Zumbinis when I was a kid.
Do you know
Zumbinis?
No.
I don't know.
I know Mario Kart.
Okay, Mario Kart's cool too. We can use Mario Kart. Zumbinis is like this game where, I think I'm right, it's basically like these little purple things and you have to like build them a town by solving maths problems.
Oh my gosh. Tricking into us into liking
Welcome to my childhood.
Oh my gosh. Seeing little Jen over there.
Oh my gosh.
Holding these little things.
My
2
Zumbinis
+ 4.
I know. I'm going to find you a picture of Zumbinis. I think actually you can download it. I think it's now an app.
Oh my god.
I'm going to find it for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think those are my takeaway things, yes, is the whole importance of mental concentration, which I was really happy about jumping into Smiling Minds, because I think that'll really help that part. And also just more, I have like more, more techniques at my disposal to tackle tricky problems. Yeah, that's what I took away from this. So I'm really excited for season 2. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, season 2, it's just around the corner. So for our listeners, we'll be taking a break from the podcast. We're coming back. We're literally working on our season 2. It's going to be a little different than season 1.
It is.
But over the Christmas holidays, we'll be taking Christmas off. If you want, we might repost a few of the episodes we've recorded. So you can hear some of those while we're gone. We'll see how it goes.
No, in case you miss our voice.
Yes, we do have very nice voices. Okay. I mean, you get a little Australian, you get a bit American. So thank you so much for everyone who's been listening to us in our first season. Please send us any like suggestions or feedback that, you think is important or you just thought of, or if you just have some thoughts in general, send us your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for joining us on our Odyssey of Season 1. We would especially like to thank Ivan Potter for our amazing show art. Today's episode is edited by the magnificent Alex Woods, and our theme music was also written by Alex. Our episode is produced with Buzzsprout, so thank you very much, Buzzsprout. And please send us your thoughts and questions to our email at thepracticeodyssey@gmail.com. And if you like this episode, you can subscribe and hear our bi-weekly podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn and Alexa, and iHeartRadio. So thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a lovely Christmas and New Year, and we look forward to seeing you all again next year.